time has
wrong.
expired.
Deeply wrong, sir.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Rabbi, do you believe there are a substantial number of people at Harvard University who believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to harass Jews?
I do.
That's a yes.
Yes.
And do you believe those people have acted on their self-anointed right to harass Jews?
Yes.
And has the administration at Harvard University allowed that to happen?
Yes.
Is that true at University of California at Berkeley?
Yes.
How about UCLA?
Yes.
How about NYU?
Yes.
A lot of other universities too. Isn't that the case?
Hey folks, welcome back to Rights Rally. I'm glad you're here, because today we need to talk about something that every American, left, right, or center, should care about: the truth, fairness, and moral clarity. I just watched a Senate hearing that honestly left me shaking my head. It was supposed to be about addressing hate and discrimination in America, but what it really showed was how deep the hypocrisy has gone, especially in our universities and in our leadership. Senator John Kennedy didn't mince words. He called out some of the most powerful universities in the country: Harvard, Berkeley, UCLA, NYU, and asked a simple question: are Jewish students being harassed on your campuses? The answer was basically yes. Then he asked, has the Biden administration cut off any federal money to those schools? And the answer again was no. That tells you everything. If any other group were being targeted like that, there'd be national outrage, investigations, press conferences, but when it's Jewish students, suddenly everyone gets quiet. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act says if you take federal money, you cannot allow discrimination. Period. Yet these universities talk endlessly about equity and inclusion, while ignoring anti-Semitic harassment right under their noses. That's not inclusion, that's cowardice. The purpose of higher education is supposed to be about truth, knowledge, and moral courage. When universities let mobs shout down Jewish students, they fail that mission completely. It's not complicated. You can't claim to stand for diversity while turning a blind eye to hate. If our universities want to keep taking billions in taxpayer money, they should be held accountable, just like any other institution.
That is correct.
Now, Title VI says that if you receive federal money, you can't harass Jews. Isn't that true?
That is correct.
Has the Biden-Harris administration taken away the money of Harvard?
No.
How about Berkeley?
Nope.
How about UCLA?
No, sir.
How about NYU?
No.
They've just talked, haven't they?
That is correct.
Okay. Do you think this condoned behavior at these universities, this condoned belief at these universities, and let me state it again, they believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to harass Jews? It's what they believe. What you do is what you believe. Everything else is just cottage cheese. Do you think that is consistent with their mission as universities?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So above and beyond the question of money, it is the morality, the purpose of higher education in America, is it not?
That is correct.
Ms. Berry, you are the executive director of the Arab American Institute. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay. And according to your website, you're also, I'm going to quote here, a longtime Democratic Party activist who served as a member of the 2016 Democratic National Convention's Platform Standing Committee, close quote. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You support Hamas, do you not?
Senator, oddly enough, I'm going to say thank you for that question because it demonstrates the purpose of our hearing today in a very
Let's start
effective
first
way.
with a yes or no.
Hamas is a foreign terrorist organization that I do not support, but you asking the executive director of the Arab American Institute that question very much puts the focus on the issue of hate in our country.
Well, I got your answer, and I appreciate it. What is the, you support Hezbollah too, don't you?
Again, I find this line of questioning extraordinarily disappointing,
Is that a
Senator.
no?
That
Or
you
a
have
yes?
you have Arab American constituents that you represent
is
in
that
your great state.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that, but my time's limited, and I apologize, but is that a yes or a no?
A yes or no question to do I support Hezbollah? The answer is I don't support violence, whether it's Hezbollah, Hamas, or any other entity that invokes
You
it.
can't
So
bring
no,
yourself to say no, can you?
No, I can say no. I can say yes.
But
What
you
I can
haven't.
say is
You just
your
can't
line
make
of
yourself do
questioning.
it. Do you
Senator.
support or oppose Iran and their hatred of Jews?
Again, I'm going to emphasize Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, none of them is going to, this
you
discussion.
can't bring yourself to say no, can
Sir,
you?
I don't support.
It's real simple.
Excuse me. I'm going to,
Ian,
if I may, as a Muslim
no.
woman, sir, I'm going to tell you I do not support Iran. But what I will tell you is that this conversation.
I'm running out of time. I'm
Okay.
sorry. You called our decision to cut funding. You called our decision to cut fund. Well, first, what's the United Nations Relief and Works Agency?
It's UNRWA, which is
Yeah.
the institution that exists to provide services and aid to the nearly 6 million Palestinian refugees.
And you called our decision to cut funding for them, quote, an incredible moral failure, close quote.
That is absolutely correct. But again, I would suggest that conversation is about foreign policy.
We did that because 9 UNRWA staff members were fired for actually helping Hamas on October 7th. Isn't that the case?
I don't believe that that's correct in terms
Let
of.
me ask you one more time. You support Hamas, don't you? You
Sir.
support UNRWA and Hamas, don't you?
Sir,
Please.
I think it's exceptionally disappointing that you're looking at an Arab American witness before you and saying you support Hamas.
You know what's disappointing to me?
I do not
You
support
can't
Hamas.
Bring yourself
I do
to
not
say
support Hamas
You don't
or
support UNRWA. You don't support Hamas. You don't.
I was very clear in my support for UNRWA.
Hezbollah, and you don't
I
support Iran.
oppose-
You should hide your head in a bag.
Your time has expired. Please, Ms. Berry, I'm going to allow you to respond to any one or all of those questions at this point.
Senator Durbin, thank you very much for holding this hearing and for elevating the issue of hate crime. It's regrettable that as I sit here, have experienced the very issue that we're attempting to deal with today. The introduction of foreign policy is not how we keep Arab Americans or Jewish Americans or Muslim Americans or Black people or Asian Americans, anybody safe. This has been regrettably a real disappointment, but very much an indication of the danger to our democratic institutions that we're in now. And I deeply regret that, and I do hope that my testimony today has been helpful to understanding the need to respond to hate.
Over the weekend, I went to a synagogue in my hometown of Springfield. There was a bar mitzvah for a dear friend of mine. I couldn't help but notice the security guards that were posted for this bar mitzvah. In addition, I went to a meeting where a dear friend of mine, a Jewish friend of mine in Chicago, she's been my friend and worked for me for 40 years, was almost in tears over the anti-Semitism that she has witnessed. She was wearing a Star of David around her neck. And she said, I do that because I won't give up. I won't give up. I thought about it for this hearing, but I also thought about Wadia, a 6-year-old boy. I have a 5-year-old granddaughter. I love her like life itself. I cannot imagine this poor little boy answering the door and losing his life because he's Palestinian. My God, we can't see those things that I've just said in the same sentence without some people saying, oh, you've just chosen sides. I'm not choosing sides here except for the side of, I hope, common decency and democracy. We've got to have this conversation. We've got to do it in a civilized manner. I regret some of the things that were said today at this hearing. But we are a free nation, and that's what happens in a democracy. As sad and as disquieting as it may be, that is part of it. The title of today's hearing was inspired by Dr. King's. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see Senator Blackburn. I was just concluding. Senator, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Now let's talk about the most intense part of the hearing, the exchange between Senator Kennedy and Maya Berry, the executive director of the Arab American Institute. Kennedy asked her point blank, "Do you support Hamas?" She danced around it, tried to redirect, and eventually said she doesn't support violence. That's good, but it shouldn't be that hard to say, "No, I don't support Hamas." It's a simple question about moral clarity. Hamas is a terrorist organization that brutally murdered innocent civilians. Americans, whether Arab, Jewish, Christian, or anything else, should all be able to condemn that without hesitation. When a witness can't give a straight answer, that's a problem. And when other senators act like asking that question is offensive, that's even worse. Then Kennedy brought up the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, UNRWA, the organization accused of employing people connected to Hamas. The U.S. cut its funding after those reports came out, and Ms. Berry called that a moral failure. But I'd argue the moral failure would be giving money to an organization tied to terrorists. American taxpayer dollars should never fund hate or violence, period. Senator Dick Durbin, the Democrat leading the hearing, wrapped things up with a heartfelt story about attending a bar mitzvah under heavy security and remembering a Palestinian boy tragically killed in the U.S. Those moments remind us of something important. Hate has no place here, not against Jews, not against Muslims, not against anyone. But compassion can't mean moral blindness. Standing against hate doesn't mean we have to ignore who's responsible for violence. We can care about innocent Palestinians and condemn Hamas. We can fight anti-Semitism and protect free speech. That's not hypocrisy, that's common sense. Here's what this hearing really showed me. Too many leaders are afraid to tell the truth. They hide behind slogans like diversity or equity, while forgetting the real meaning of justice. Being an American means standing for fairness and responsibility. It means saying, if you take federal money, you uphold American values, period. It means calling out hate wherever it comes from, without excuses and without fear. We need a government and a university system that defends everyone's rights, not just the loudest groups. We need leaders who remember that unity isn't about picking sides, it's about standing for truth. So to every viewer out there, stay alert, stay informed, and don't let anyone shame you for demanding moral consistency. That's not radical, that's patriotic. Because at the end of the day, this country stands for liberty, justice, and accountability, not moral double standards. Thanks for watching, friends. If you believe in free speech, fairness, and equal treatment for every American, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe. Together, we can keep this country strong, not divided. God bless America.